And you could feel everyone in the room just like getting really upset hearing this.
I want you to coach me.
So you just said a lot. I mean, are you comfortable with elaborating?
At that time, there's an agent who's in our organization now that he was saying no to for months. What caused you? Here's a question for you, because again, I don't know the answer to it. Like, you were obviously turned off to him first. Like, no. What kind of opened your arms to him and said, hey, you know what? I think this guy actually might be onto something.
It was because I had that visceral reaction. Whenever you have a reaction like that, where you're like really angry or really sad, there's something to it. Pay attention to it.
Yeah.
And I knew that he was hitting that chord in all of us when he was saying things that were true. I think at the time he was talking about how iBuyers were going to, really hurt listing agents.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the time in Hoboken, it was kind of like, if you sat in the office long enough, somebody walked by, looked at the pictures on the outside, you went outside, you found out that they wanted to sell their condo to buy another one, you got a listing.
That's exactly how we worked in an office where it's on a main street, and people would walk that main street daily and just stop, look at the listings on the mirror, the wall or the window, and then you see them looking. It's like a car salesman. You see someone looking at a car, and you go walking out and you start asking them questions, and next thing you know, you're selling a car.
That's exactly how it was. And I remember him telling us, like, hey, these easy days, they're about to be... It's funny because he wasn't even with EXP yet, guys. Like, I don't even know if EXP was a thing, really. I mean, I think it was around, but it wasn't popular. And he was already talking about how you need to move to, like, a cloud-based model. You need to take full responsibility of your business. And you could feel everyone in the room just, like, getting really upset hearing this.
Personal hardships going on at that time. I was living with my parents at the time. And then Aaron came into my life a couple years later. I was introduced to him through a very close mutual friend who I know you know as well. And then within 5 minutes, he said, I want to mentor you. I want to coach you. And I said, I want you to coach me.
Wow.
And at the time, he wasn't taking anybody.
I was going to say, he never talks like that to people. He's always talking them out of coaching with him.
At that time, there's an agent who's in our organization now that he was saying no to for months, and who was doing way more business than me. And I just thought that he took such an interest in me. And, that was in 2017, I think. And then we're all these years later, and I'm still with him. He's completely changed the trajectory of my life financially. It went that way.
So you mentioned the word financially. Are you comfortable getting vulnerable to talk about all the other things he's changed for you? Because I've seen you grow as a person.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, so I had so at the Leadership Summit in the Dominican, I will be talking, because he's putting me on stage. So I will be talking about my life from start to finish. I'm not going to get into too much of it.
So you just said a lot. I mean, are you comfortable with elaborating?
On what?
You said that some things had happened to you when you were acting.
For a long time, I started in around 2001, 2002. I started to pursue an acting career. I just saw signs on the street in Tribeca. They were filming there, and I called the casting company, and they said, "Come in, send us your stuff." I put a headshot together with some sort of stuff that could be true, could not be true on the back of the headshot as to what I've done. And they started putting me into, extra roles. And then from that, they started putting me on camera, but not with lines. So if any actor who knows, if you can get on camera and have yourself featured, it can lead to different things.
Okay.
And my coach, I got linked up with a guy who was on The Wire, the show The Wire.
Yeah, I love that show.
Yeah, so his name's Doug. He was on it for a while, and his coach was this gentleman named Richard. So that was my coach. He was also coaching Michael Ealy at the time, who was, I think at that time, was dating Holly Berry. He would put us in front of casting directors, and we would perform, do different skits and performances. And I got linked up with a really good agent, two of them actually. So from the 2000s all the way up, they were always trying to get me on The Sopranos at the time, and it just didn't hit. And then finally one day, my agent calls me, and she just couldn't be any happier. It was a Tuesday. I remember this like it was yesterday. It was a Tuesday, and she said, I got it. And I said, what'd you get? And she said, I got you an audition on a soap. And I was like, which one? She said, Guiding Light. And it was like, she's like, I think you're basically, they're going to hire you. They just want to see you. Like it was, I think the scene was like, I was going to be a gardener. I was going to be in like a tank top. This was the natural progression after 8 years of just grinding and grinding and grinding. Friday morning comes the audition day. And my audition was at 3:00. I wake up Friday morning and have you ever seen what a staph infection looks like? Okay, so athletes, like a lot of times they'll get staph infections on like their legs or their feet because of like, I don't know, something in the locker room, because there's a lot of germs and stuff. I've never had one in my life.
I've never had one either.
Yeah, well, until then. That's what the dermatologist told me anyway. So when I woke up, from my whole face, not even like a part of it, the whole thing, it was like acne times 100. Like not even regular, just aggressive and covered, completely covered.
Oh my goodness. So God had other plans for you.
And I can't tell you how much I cursed God that day and days after.
This is a crucial moment, right? Because two things can happen. And I'm sure everyone watching, you've had an experience like this in your life. So it could be one of two things, right? One, you're being tested to see how bad you want it. So you're going to get another opportunity. You have to keep grinding. Or two, this is not your destiny. This is just not where God wants you to be. So it's a redirection. And from there, you kind of have to figure out what your purpose is. So how did you find yours?
On a whim, my mother had said, listen, you should call Angelina, because I don't know what else to do. And as a mother, you're a mother. Try having one of your kids come to you with something that is just utterly crushing them, and you're powerless to it. Because I'm aware you probably, every time your kids come to you with a problem, what do you want to do?
What you're describing to me reminds me of what a lot of people who play a sport at a high level go through when they retire. I think they call it loss of sport, but if you talk to anyone who's ever, played college sports or played major league, whatever, when they are no longer playing, it's a deep depression that is, you really can't even compare it to many other things in life. It truly is a loss that you grieve. So it sounds like you were really grieving the loss of this career, and probably more for you, a dream. It was the loss of your dream.
Yeah, it was years of work. Years of work. It was, I don't know, I was into that probably 9 years. So
how did you get yourself out of the depression? Like, if someone's right now watching you and saying, I feel the same way, Dan, what do they need to do to start to change their lives?